Welcome to Musings and Modalities. I'm your host, Tristen Stawicki. Think of me as your pragmatic shaman bestie. Join in with other high-vibe, lovely people as I unravel spiritual ideas to help create change and growth in your life. I cover a variety of spiritual topics, sharing knowledge to meet you wherever you are in your journey. As a shaman, astrologer, and human design reader, I help you understand how to make informed decisions and incorporate different modalities using discernment in your own intuition. Today, you will gain powerful shamanic healing tools you can use to incorporate spiritual practices in non-traditional ways. Whether you're just beginning or need a knowledgeable best friend with the next phase of your journey, I'm here to help. Stay tuned. Musings and Modalities starts now. Everyone, and welcome to Musings and Modalities. I'm Tristen Stawicki, your pragmatic shaman bestie, and for the next 30 minutes, we'll be diving into the topic of demystifying the chakra system. So this episode is part one, as we won't be able to cover the entire chakra system in just one episode. And so in this first episode, I'll focus on the origins of the chakra system, a few modalities where it's used, and how to cleanse, balance, strengthen, and ultimately heal our first through third chakras. So to start, I really want to discuss the framework in which chakras are used and why they're so important in the healing journey. So let's get into why you need to know about them, as much of this episode will cover what they are in detail. So a chakra is a wheel, right? It's a wheel of life force energy, where each of the 7 wheels in the body have a specific energetic focus. And the etymology of the word chakra is actually a Sanskrit word meaning disc or wheel. And the chakra system originated in India over 4,000 years ago in ancient literature. And eventually in the 1920s, it's found its way to the West, where it's become a core part of the modern spirituality movement, right? So when I went through my 200 yoga hour training, it was like a teacher training, right? We kind of read through core teachings to learn more about the chakras and to honor kind of yoga's origins and teachings from India, which was so beautiful and lovely. Reiki, shamanism, acupuncture, and other modalities all include the teachings of the chakras, as they're really fundamental to energetic and physical healing. Much like we can't kind of touch our own soul, we physically can't touch our chakras. So in the human body, we do have 7 chakras that start at the base of the spine and move through the spinal column up to the crown of our head, right? The very top of our head. And based on their location, there are a few fun ways to remember their function. So the lower chakras, right? They're closest to the earth. They're near the base of the spine, up through the abdomen. They're really close to Pachamama, Mother Earth. And their focus kind of mimics that. It's survival, it's foundation, it's passion as we start working through the abdomen. And the upper chakras have much more of a mental focus and dreamlike qualities. So that's very different vibes. And our chakras are represented through different colors, which is really helpful. And that's one of my favorite kind of tools to share the path of the chakras through. So I actually have a crystal pyramid that I'll show. If you're watching the video of this, you'll be able to see, but to describe it a little bit, it's a crystal pyramid that has the colors of the different chakras. So at the very base of the pyramid, you have red, the root chakra, right? Then as we move up, we have the sacral, orange, the solar plexus as yellow, heart is green. I've also seen it as pink, but more traditionally it's green. And then we have the throat as more of like a deep blue, and then either a light purple or a kind of a purple blue color, we'll have our third eye, which is right between our eyes, kind of right here. And then last we have purple for our crown chakra. So it's a really easy way to kind of think through where the chakras live in the body and just an easy visualization overall. And so we have this flow of energy through our system of chi and of prana. And at times our energy can become blocked, and that can manifest as just feeling off. You can't, you kind of can't get with it, honestly. Everything feels insurmountable. When someone has feelings that are outside of their baseline, and you know your baseline, you know those days where, it's not a high high or a low low, it's just kind of you're content with the world, you're just kind of moving through life with an ease. It's a really great time when you're out of that alignment, out of that baseline, to check on the chakras. Blocked chakras can come from a variety of events or emotions, right? And so when there are really hard situations like a job loss, financial hardship, loss of security in the home, like if there was a break-in or you just, have lost security in some way, our first chakra, our root chakra, will be blocked, right? And have some energetic gunk to release because your survival and your feelings of safety and security have been threatened. And, that's at any time you could have blockages across all chakras or, your first, fifth, seventh. It can kind of vary depending. And these blockages can be cumulative too. So as our first chakra gets blocked, the surrounding chakras are also affected until the entire system can be out of alignment and is struggling. If you're someone that really struggles to connect to source, to connect to the divine, it could be that your crown chakra, the very top of your head, just never really connects fully, but you maybe have really strong first, second, and third chakras. And that's, completely normal and just something to note and kind of work on. When your entire system is out of alignment and you're just off and struggling, outwardly, this could look like having some limiting beliefs. Those could be like, I'll never find another job. No one's going to hire me. What value do I have in the world? And those are really powerful, negative, but really powerful thoughts. And if those thoughts really take root in the body energetically, right, you can start seeing your shoulders kind of slump in. Your creativity is maybe non-existent. You don't have that spark anymore. You may also start getting headaches and just want to sleep all the time. And you can kind of see the path from one negative thought come many. And then you have this energetic misalignment. And then you have physical symptoms that maybe can grow exponentially if unchecked. And this is just one example, right? Our energetic systems are really resilient. And I don't want to discount them in any way because they are really, really resilient. But in our modern life, they are absolutely bombarded with hot garbage frequently, right? There's this over here, you're reading this on social media, like everywhere and anywhere, you can just have kind of hits to that energetic system. And so that can look like, several challenging scenarios at once or a variety of limiting beliefs that can span and kind of hit a few of our chakras. And when we're focused on surviving, we can't thrive, right? That's just fact. It's just if your focus is survival, your creativity, your passion, your zest for life, that's not a priority at this time. From a psychological perspective, the chakras can be thought of in the following ways. So our first chakra, survival. Our second chakra, sexuality. Our third chakra, power. Our fourth chakra, love. Our fifth is communication. Sixth is intuition. And finally, the seventh is consciousness, right? And how beautiful. That hits so many elements that are kind of vital in our journey and vital on our healing path. So to focus on our first chakra, our root chakra, our foundation, I want to honor its Sanskrit name, and it's Muladhara. Our Muladhara is located at the base of the spine, and survival is really key to the root chakra. Each of our chakras has goals, and this one is stability, it's grounding, it's physical health, prosperity, and trust. And when we think of our foundation, we think of the earth, which is a really easy way to remember the element associated with this chakra. Some opportunities to reflect with this chakra include a few questions. So how grounded are you? Do you feel that connection to the earth? Are you nourishing yourself? How do you feel in your body? Do you feel safe? Do you have appropriate boundaries? What are your boundaries? And for some of us, just hearing those questions, you can start to feel discomfort, right? You can feel almost some anxiety coming in. And that's important to note. And it's so important to note because it's not only the energetic body that chakras affect, but misalignment in the energy of the chakra can show up, as I mentioned, in those physical ailments. And those ailments are related to their physical location in the body. So when we have disease, right, that starts off as negative energy and then actually progresses to physical sickness and disease. And for our first chakra, challenges with digestion, our bones, our spine, our teeth. This may result in frequent illness that, can all first manifest with severe misalignment with this chakra. And this dis-ease for the root chakra is fear. And as fear comes in, it's kind of that warning emotion of feeling unbalanced, of having a loss of safety. It's a time when our boundaries have been kind of completely ignored or obliterated. And as a warning, fear is such a beautiful gift, right? It's a gift that we want to immediately acknowledge and act on, especially when the very foundation of our security is threatened or challenged in any way. And what I really appreciate about fear is how clear the message is. And if you aren't feeling fear deeply, it's a really healthy and helpful guide to where some healing opportunities might be. So how do we combat fear and combat kind of further dis-ease in the body? We really want to reconnect through physical activity. This could be an active and should be a really active exercise for this chakra that you kind of sweat through. So hatha yoga, weightlifting, running, dance, all beautiful, great outlets. Physical touch and massage are also really helpful to support this chakra. And it's also an opportunity to heal and reflect on the earliest relationships in our life, especially that with our mother. It's really about kind of claiming your divine right to be here. And so I want to give you some tangible tips to help your root chakra feel safe. And so here are 4 tips I kind of put together. The first is grounding exercises are completely vital, right? Because if you're not connected to the earth, it's nearly impossible to connect to the divine, right? It's so, so vital. I really like to look at my home because the foundation is so crucial to the root chakra. I look to see what's in disarray, what needs some attention. Just this weekend, I repotted some plants that need to be repotted because that's a way that I go, actually, if the plants in my home aren't feeling secure in their foundation, that's really a reflection of where I am at. So let me repot. Let me make sure they have room to grow and room for abundance, things like that. This is kind of frequent in our modern times, but, find for step 3, kind of what are 2 to 3 things that have plagued you for a few days or weeks that you just haven't gotten to? Can you take some time to get them done? Removing and reducing mental chatter is really, really helpful, especially if you're the kind of person that kind of beats yourself up if you haven't gotten to something, and you're just like, I just can't get to something, because your nervous system really starts to feel out of alignment. And then your security, your comfort, your safety is soon to follow. And then for the 4th one, are there any events or something I've agreed to that I actually don't want to go to, right? We want to honor our boundaries, so are there people I've agreed to see that I don't want to have in my life anymore, or that I need to take a step back from? And you really ask yourself that, look at that and take action, to hopefully not go to the event, kind of take a step back from those people, whatever you need to do to get back into alignment. And with our chakras, it's never just one thing, right? It's the multitude of things that have accumulated. So it may take some deciphering and some trial and error to kind of muddle through. But to help with this, I wanted to share some supportive affirmations. And so here are a few you can kind of sit with and use. Mother Earth loves and supports me. I am divinely human. My feet, bones, body, and teeth are stable and strong. Exercise reconnects my body, my spirit, and my mind. I am safe, loved, and have everything I need. My body is my home, and I am supported by her, right? And so it's just such a lovely kind of calming feeling. And I hope, your nervous system, as you heard those, just kind of relaxed a little bit, let go a little bit. Our root support, our first chakra, has several tangible elements that we can connect to. It's connected to the element of earth, right? Which makes complete sense. Plants have connective roots, as do we. Ours are just energetic. And we're all connecting and grounding into our Pachamama. And if you're a frequent listener of the show, I'm sure you might be a little tired of me sharing how important grounding is. But our Muladhara is one of the main reasons why I find this so beneficial and worth the time. If our root chakra doesn't have life force flowing through it from Pachamama up to our other chakras, up into source, that cuts off a lot of opportunities for messages, for working with guides, for growing your intuition, right? Nearly every client I speak to wants to grow their intuition. They want to know their guides. They want to get downloads and messages. They want to do what I do, basically, or some element of it. And you really have to do the work with the chakras and your own energetic life force to kind of prime the body for that to work. That's the secret. That's the key. That's the hack, like whatever you want to call it. There's no further shortcut. You just must do the work. And to continue to do the work, I'm going to go into our second chakra, our sacral, Svadhisthana, meaning sweetness in Sanskrit. And this chakra is located above the root chakra in the lower back. And locations are really helpful to remember other key elements that our sacral affects, like our hips and our sexual organs. And the focus for the sacral is sexuality and emotions. It's searching for pleasure and healthy expression of sexuality. The element for the sacral chakra is water, and this is really expressed in the fluidity that this energetic disc has. So what tangible tips can help your sacral chakra feel safe? This chakra is often very repressed. Emotions and sexuality are two of the most repressed things, right? For most people, the way they interact with their own sexuality and sexual expression has a duality to it. The way they act publicly versus privately is very different. And there can often be quite a lot of guilt in this chakra and the cover up and the facade. Guilt over the feelings you have, how you've expressed feelings, maybe explosively. When the element of water is forced to stop moving and forced to go against the flow of nature, it can become quite toxic. And when we feel guilt, we can't feel joy or pleasure, right? And the goal for healing this chakra is to get to a place where we're able to feel emotions deeply and be able to move through them. Now, to help this chakra heal and come into balance, think about kind of water exercises or things with fluidity. So we have swimming. We have ballet, yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi. You really want to look at moving out stagnant energy through fluidity, through grace. Hip opening exercises and stretching, especially the lower half of the body, is incredibly helpful. Now, of course, based on location, there's going to be overlap in what helps the second chakra and the first chakra. So inner child work just helps overall, right? But it especially helps your first two chakras. Having strong and supportive boundaries sets up your entire system for success. I've found when my sacral is blocked, I'm more likely to be clumsy or trip over literally nothing, right? I'm physically off balance and disconnected from my body. And I also find feeding my chakra through visiting locations that support it really helpful. So spending time by rivers, streams, or the ocean is incredibly important. And for my root chakra, I'm spending time in my garden, by the mountains, or in the forest. For our sacral chakra, some supportive affirmations include: I welcome flow in my life. I embrace my sensuality and sexuality. I attract fun, pleasure, and like-minded people into my life. I prioritize pleasure. I honor all of my feelings, wants, desires, and emotions. My body is sacred. Limitless joy is my birthright. I accept the flow of life. So what does a balanced sacral look like, right? If we're doing all this work, what kind of gifts are we getting? And the gifts from the sacral chakra are beautiful, graceful movements, having healthy boundaries and the ability to nurture yourself and others. Emotional intelligence and being able to experience pleasure are all healthy expressions of the second chakra. And we're going to move into the final chakra for today. Of course, there'll be a part 2 with the rest. So our third chakra, our solar plexus, Manipura, meaning lustrous gem in Sanskrit. This chakra is located above the sacral chakra in the solar plexus, funnily enough, which is in the abdomen. The focus for the solar plexus is power and will. It's the driving might you have to get things done. It's your vitality and self-esteem. And the element for the solar plexus chakra is fire. And that's really easy to remember, right? As power, as vitality, and will all have that passion and warmth to them. When I meet people with a strong solar plexus, there's almost a glow about them. You can feel the energy of the room change with their warmth and their passion, which is so incredibly lovely. When the sacral chakra is out of alignment, there's a struggle with shame. There can be challenges with authority and traumas with parental figures, perhaps even physical abuse. And these traumas can also include enmeshment, right? Where the energy of a person has morphed or enmeshed with a partner or partners. This could also look like being unable to make a decision without calling their mother, or being able to have an individual identity outside of a romantic relationship. And when this chakra has an excess of unhealed energy, this can show as being overly aggressive, manipulative, stubborn, and controlling. Those with type A personalities can find that their solar plexus is all out of balance, right? And they can use perfectionism as a way to control themselves and others. And in the body, physical challenges can manifest as eating disorders, digestive issues, hypoglycemia, and chronic fatigue. So how can we make our solar plexus feel safe? Fast walking, running, martial arts, and cardio of any sort are all really helpful practices for the solar plexus. Sit-ups and targeted exercises in the abdomen all help move energy in the space. And working to release anger and shame while strengthening will is incredibly helpful. Deep breathing and relaxation practices where you can release all of the pent-up emotions in your stomach. And if you find yourself physically running hot, right? You're having too much fire in your body. Cold plunges, ice baths, really physically cooling yourself down can be super helpful to get back into balance and flow. So for this chakra, we have some supportive affirmations, and they include, I am filled with vitality. I am calm, powerful, and confident. I am divine, whole, and complete. I know my worth and my value. I am enough exactly as I am. I trust my instincts and intuition. I am a powerful creator and I shape my reality. I have success and abundance in all areas of my life. I deserve love, respect, and happiness, and I attract these energies into my life. With a balanced solar plexus, we have the gift of really balanced ego and self-esteem. We have warmth in our personality and confidence in our choices. There's spontaneity, humor, and playfulness in our life and our daily interactions. We have self-discipline without being rigid. We can meet challenges, we're responsible, and we own our power. It's that healed king or queen energy that comes through in our personality, our aura, and our sheer strength overall. So for my BFFs only tip, I wanted to share 4 things that you can do to support your chakra system overall. First and foremost, there are chakra balancing sequences. So I mentioned yoga as a great way to balance specific chakras, but for the most impactful use of your time, I'd search for a chakra balancing sequence, as a specific yoga pose can open up and help energize those energetic discs. So for instance, mountain pose at the start of a yoga class embodies and celebrates the root chakra. The instructor may specifically share which chakras a pose helps, or kind of refer to them as a heart opener or a hip opener, kind of same, right? Hip openers help our sacral chakra. Heart openers help open our heart chakra. And in less than an hour, right, you're able to move energy through each chakra and feel more grounded and connected. And that's really massive. That's healing, and that's so worth the time, energy, and effort. For my second tip, I recommend getting outside, especially at times when you normally aren't outside. So many of us love our neighborhood walks at twilight or enjoying the sunrise with our coffee. And I really encourage you to get outside at other times, especially when your energy is low or you feel blocked or just kind of blah. This weekend, I had a fire ceremony outside at 2 p.m. And where I'm at in the United States, it's summer. We've actually recorded the hottest day ever in the city I'm in, and it was in the hundreds, right? And so fire ceremony includes full-on chanting. We're holding the energy of the space. I'm receiving messages. I'm working with the land. I'm working with the intention of the ceremony, working with guides. There's fire. It just gets even hotter in the space. It's incredibly full on. There's specific rituals to the setup. There's tending to the fire. And y'all, it was hot, right? But it was completely manageable. And as that experience kind of wound down, I felt so fulfilled and grateful to enjoy the beauty at 2 p.m. on a miserably hot summer's day. The stillness and the heat was incredibly nourishing and cleansing. And even though I was honestly kind of dreading the heat most of the morning, I was just like, oh, not sure I want to do this, but it needed to be done. But it ultimately became a really lovely time that allowed me to appreciate the beauty and discomfort and the resilience of my body. For the third tip, I recommend you surround yourself with beauty. This can be inside or outside your home. When I'm surrounded by fresh, beautiful things, my system and body feel safe, expansive, and lit up. Now, this does not mean you need flowers in every room, right? A fruit in a bowl isn't beautiful. Tidying up is beautiful. Organizing your makeup and bookcase, stunning, right? This can also mean letting yourself have some escapism, through watching a gorgeously shot movie or a stunning video game, something where the cinematography or landscape really feeds your soul. Highly recommend. And for my fourth and most important tip is saying no, all capital letters, right? N-O, no. This is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself and for your chakras. Say no to extra work, to events, to things you don't want to do. If you need an out or permission, I always think of the toll a yes takes on my body and the stress a yes brings when I should have said no the first time. Saying no is an I love you to your nervous system. All right, so as we get into our recap, for the seventh chakra system in your body, they are the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. And each chakra has an element and color associated with it. The focus for today's episode was the lower three chakras located at the base of the spine, the lower back, and the abdomen. For the root chakra, comfort, security, and safety are all vital to feeling grounded and connected. For the sacral chakra, healthy expression of sexuality and emotions is really key to feeding the energy and flow there. The solar plexus, which is kind of the boiler, right, that feeds our fire and vitality, is outwardly expressed through our confidence, self-esteem, and relationship with power. Part 2 of this series will cover the other 4 chakras, our heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Thank you so much for watching Musings and Modalities with me, your pragmatic shaman bestie. Tune in the second and fourth Mondays of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for more fabulous episodes. Part 2 of this episode will air July 22nd. If you'd like to have a bestie catch-up, book that free 30-minute call with me and we can talk all about the chakras and your spiritual journey. My appointments for July are pretty limited, but there are some spots in August and September. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Musings and Modalities with me, Tristen, your pragmatic shaman bestie. For more powerful healing tools, join me every second and fourth Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. I cover a variety of topics to meet you wherever you are at on your spiritual journey. Learn techniques to work with pendulums, past life healing, astrology, and more. Please share the show and subscribe for more guidance from your pragmatic shaman bestie at musingsandmodalities.com.